You're drunk.
Good evening, sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation. Thank you for tuning into what I'm told, and metrically so, is one of the longest running pop culture comic book podcasts in the world.
The Alex.
Prove me wrong. Give me reasons. The CultPOP Podcast Live, episode 1112. 1112.
1112. That is a lot of episodes.
112. There's a bunch before
1,112.
If you're new here, this is the place where we talk about comics, movies, TV, games, companionship, human as well as other, and missions that seem pretty possible.
Yeah.
You know, when you get to it. And all the other things that scratch that nerdy itch. Tonight, we're broadcasting this mission briefing to you live from Young Junk HQ, a clandestine off-the-grid podcasting production space, accessible only by encrypted correspondence with our producer, Dylan. Dylan, if you'd like to
Thank you.
place that encrypted correspondence details on the bottom of the screen right now, that'd be great.
There they are.
So if you're interested, we'll talk about that in a minute. Tonight, I'm your acting host, this evening, Noel. With me, our mission-specific specialist joining us tonight. The first of is JD of...
Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA 19127. A rad-ass comic shop that caters to rad-ass folks just like you, so get on in here and buy my shit!
Also here tonight is the superstar host of the... everyone's favorite podcast, Inside the Morgue, Alice.
It's everyone?
Yes, Alice Inside the Morgue. That's your new last name.
Wow.
Alice Morgue.
It's my second favorite.
Yeah.
Inside. And as mentioned before, in the booth is our trusty producer, our expert producer, our amazing producer, Dylan. And yeah, if you want to contact him via encrypted correspondence, you just go to the website at the bottom. So tonight we have a really packed show. We have two main reviews, so we're going to skip a couple of the segments. One of the main reviews tonight is going to be our next installment of Missions Probable, wherein we dig in and review each Mission Impossible film in preparation for the 8th and I guess the last one coming out this summer.
I don't.
Yeah,
TBD.
we'll see.
We'll
see.
I think he wants to die while filming.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's going to
we're
keep
just
going
saying that
until...
as long as he's alive, it's not over.
Yeah.
But before we do that, we actually wanted to talk about a brand new rom-com thriller.
Dark.
Dark rom-com thriller, sci-fi horror. In theaters now, called Companion, Perfect Date Night, and we just had to talk about that first. So for those of us here with us tonight, a gentle reminder, if you're here live, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you know when we do new stuff. And if you're watching this later, there's no excuse. Do that also.
Just do that. Just do it.
Comment, subscribe, all that jazz. We love a little back and forth, whether it's live or emails. Yeah, I see.
God
right away.
damn it, Christopher.
Right away.
Jeez.
On it.
So, speaking of emails, if you want to send us an email with any kind of correspondence or a question or whatnot, cultpopgo@gmail.com. And speaking of those, we did receive a rather involved email from Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight that we saw about 5 minutes before we went live. So we want to actually give that time, Chris, as opposed to spend 20 minutes fumbling with names of people that we want to actually participate. So I think we're going to try and attack it next week or soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a good email, dude.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Chill out. But keep them coming. So before we dive in, because we've got a packed show, is there anything you guys would like to...
Hey, you know what I found? I was out. I was at the local grocer.
Yeah.
And I was in the frozen meat sections.
Meatball Tonys?
And I found
Tony's.
I found these and I thought I would bring them in to share.
Hey, you know what? Calling an audible. We're doing snack time. Quick snack time segment. Yeah.
So these are Oscar Mayer gummy bacons.
Give her that one.
Bacon gummies.
You did real good.
Take it.
Take it, feel it.
Packaged just like an Oscar Mayer bit of bacon.
This wasn't in the candy section.
It was in the frozen meats.
He just says bacon. He says raw bacon. He's like, what's this new candy? It's just
I would love it if they actually put, like the end cap with the pepperoni slices.
Yeah.
That like doesn't have to be cold.
That'd be cute.
I'm actually kidding. I was at Five Below. I was at Five Below, and there was a whole gummy section with ridiculous gummy things. There were gummy pizza bagels, and were
they constructed, or you can make like you had the cheese and the sauce.
That's the thing. They were just like shaped. It was like let's say you had a Play-Doh set for making pizza bagels, and it just squished out something that looked kind of like a pizza bagel. It wasn't like the bagel and then a layer of cheese and then like pepperoni or whatever you put on top. It was just like one solid bit. Anyway,
I think. Wait, one more question.
yes, please.
Were those pizza bagel gummies actual size pizza bagels, or were they smaller?
How big is a pizza bagel? Like this? Like this? Like this?
Yeah, maybe like 1.5 inches to 2 inches in diameter.
Yeah. It would say a fleshlight size. Normal pizza bagel size, that of a fleshlight, right?
The one end of the fleshlight or the entry end of the fleshlight? Because it should be smaller than one. It's supposed to be tight.
The end, the back,
the flashlight,
the back,
like the handle end.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I just
Anyway,
want to be
have a
really
bacon.
clear.
Have a bacon.
You want me to hand it to her?
Yeah.
Well, now that everybody's hands have touched it, I'm
Not
did-
everybody's. Dylan, here,
Dylan,
come
wanna
touch your
touch it?
bacon.
What flavor? Is this
nice and
is this
flaccid, too. I
bacon
like that.
flavored?
No, that's the bummer of it.
cough medicine.
It does. It tastes like it too, I bet.
Oh God.
We gotta do. Okay, it's 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay.
Or 1,
1, 2. Wait, on go or
2, 3. Put it in your
chomp.
mouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, chomp. You know what? You know what flavor that is? Fruit. It's
tastes
fruit
like a-
flavored.
It tastes like a.
Not a specific fruit.
What do you think it tastes like? We'll go around the room, and then rate it.
It reminds me of like a cough drop.
Like a Luden.
Like a Ludens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Ludens.
Yeah.
It actually tastes like the red dots or
Oh,
jujubes.
no.
Like, and also too, it's got more of that consistency than it does like actual gummy.
That's a chewy Ludens.
It's chewy.
That's good. I used to eat those as if they were candy.
I also brought snacks that will not go well with this. So my new favorite Girl Scout cookie, Toast Yays, which are basically cinnamon toast crunch cookies. Would you like to try one?
With my, so we're having toast and bacon right now.
Yeah. This
Oh.
is
Where
a
are the
breakfast.
eggs?
Yeah.
Oh my God! And we
Yeah,
have
we just-
Rice Krispie too.
Yep.
Just
This is
cereal.
all breakfast.
And then I also made they're not Rice Krispie treats. They're Fruity Pebble treats.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but
Nice. Oh, bruh.
I am chef. Yes, chef. Oh, you're doing it together? All right. That's a choice.
Is the bacon in there?
How you feeling?
Oh, shit.
We're gonna do bacon.
This is Pulitzer Prize winning podcasting.
I love podcasting.
Can we chew it into the mic too? Dylan loves that.
Dylan, I'm trying so hard to stay away from the mic while I
Hey,
chew.
Dill, do you want some? I think these are gluten free. No, they're not. They're vegan though.
I'm all right, but
Are
thank
they?
you.
Are there marshmallows in there?
Yeah.
Those aren't vegan.
Oh wait, no, it's not vegan. Sorry, it's vegetarian though. Ish. Wait, is it?
Yeah.
No, it's unsalted.
I'll tell you, these Toast Jays
it's
are pretty good.
Yeah,
It's vegetarian.
yeah. The toasties are great, right?
Where
They're lemonades, but they're graham cracker and cinnamon toast crunch.
I don't think they need the icing.
they don't, but it's still good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
Wait, can we answer the question in the chat?
Did you have a meet cute with a perfect match? Are you talking about like real life?
I did.
Oh, please. Oh, yeah. You know what? Let's enjoy our snacks while you tell us a story.
I met Costa, my fiance, soon to be husband, while playing Quidditch in college. And
playing what?
Quidditch. It's
Quidditch.
called quad ball now, but
Ew.
it's what?
Is that just like a person with 4 testicles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's because there's 4 balls that you play with, which sounds weird now, but
That's where that transphobe got the name. Quidditch is actually the medical term for somebody with
Oh.
4 testicles.
God damn it.
Yeah. And then what they did was because they could, like, she kind of repurposed Quidditch.
They're taking it back.
They went back to quad ball, which is just the definition of what Quidditch actually was before, which is it's a
Nailed
whole
it.
thing.
Sure.
No,
Yeah.
so other than being based off of something by J.K. Rowling, it was a really cute way to meet somebody. We played a really nerdy sport together.
That's really cute.
It does get really aggressive. Tackling is allowed.
Oh, it was a joke because you were in the grocery store like in the movie.
Oh, I thought you were genuinely asking. I just love telling people how I met my fiance.
Were you on the same team or separate or opposing
team.
teams?
Same team, but we would scrimmage. The first day I met him, we were scrimmaging against each other.
Yeah, you were.
And I didn't. Yeah, we were. And I didn't pick up that he was trying to be like cute and competitive and flirty. And I was just like full on competitive mode. And I was like, this guy's a jerk. Oh my God. And then hit it off after.
And he
Clearly.
like you clotheslined him,
Yeah.
lost a tooth.
Oh.
It's a pattern.
And now we're getting married.
Costa, blink twice if you're okay.
He's
Anyway.
fine.
Spoken like a true aggressor. He's fine. Don't worry about him.
The Fruity Pebbles are awesome.
Right? Perfect compliment to the
It's not too much marshmallow.
to the treat. I actually measured it because I think the last time we made this, I did it with what was it, like the Fruit Loops with marshmallows? It was just too much.
Too much
It was
marshmallow.
just too much marshmallow.
Anyway, hi podcast.
Yeah. So now that we've had our snacks, it's snack time. Let's talk about Companion.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we saw that.
Companion just released this past Friday, 2025. 93% Rotten Tomato score.
That's
That
pretty good.
is wild for a horror movie. I mean, I guess it's a horror
Is
movie.
it?
That's wild for a genre film.
Yes.
Heavy genre film.
Yeah.
Written and directed by Drew Hancock. This is his first. This is his theatrical director and writing debut. Starring Sophie Thatcher, Jack Quaid, Lucas Gage, Harvey Guillen, Megan Suri, and Rupert Friend,
And Matt McCarthy.
and Matt McCarthy.
I follow him on Twitter or on TikTok.
Who's Matt McCarthy?
He has a very minor role towards
He's this guy.
Oh yeah. Also Jabuki. He's a correspondent on Daily Show.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
A weekend getaway turns bloody and violent when a subservient android that's built for human companionship goes haywire.
spoiler alert.
She sure does.
Spoiler alert in the chat right away. Christopher St. Saucy says it does not deserve 95%.
It
First of all,
deserves 97%.
it's not 95%. It's 93. So
Meh.
That was crazy.
So I was excited about this movie, and I know Chris was too, because when we saw the first trailer, I think I saw it when we went and saw Heretic. That first trailer, which was a minute long, had no idea what the hell it was about, and it was just said, from the makers, from the people that brought you Barbarian, which we all really loved. And then it was a bunch of actors that I love with like crazy imagery, like somebody just sitting there with their hand on fire, cool shit. So I went in pretty blind. I wanted to go in blind, I should say. Then the second trailer came out, and it spoiled, 90% of the movie. And then also, you couldn't even avoid that because the poster spoils like a chunk of the movie.
Does it?
Yeah,
I
it's
was
just.
hoping you didn't. I was hoping you didn't look when we walked in.
I told you that
because
too.
it
I was just
was-
like, when you're walking in the theater, just
Her
like
eyes are blank.
have her grab your hand and close your eyes and walk through.
Wow.
So they didn't care.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's we have to fool people to come into the theaters, or we're so confident about this movie that the spoiler doesn't matter.
That's what I'm getting from it.
I'm kind of getting from that too because it's an incredibly competent and confident movie. I really, really liked it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Alice, what did you think?
I really, really liked it. I was also looking forward to it after the first trailer dropped because, again, loved Barbarian and couldn't really get an idea of what was happening. Seemed like because I think in the 1 minute trailer they say the thing with, can I say it? The opening line of the movie.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's the second trailer.
Oh, okay, never mind.
totally
Then I'm
fine.
not. Oh, it is.
Yeah, so we're going to do our best to not spoil anything that's not in that second trailer. So obviously we gave away that it has to do with an android that goes haywire. Do they go haywire? I don't know. That's debatable.
Right.
Is artificial intelligence intelligence? Does she feel, or does she think she feels? And is there a difference? Yeah. Yeah.
Let's get into that philosophical debate right now.
Yeah, we're going to not spoil the actual ending of the movie like we normally do because we have a segment after this. But
Yeah.
I think
Ow.
we could probably all say that go see this movie.
Yeah.
Go see
And
this movie.
Yeah, go see it. But I was excited from the little bit that I knew where she opens with like, oh, the happiest moment of my life is the day that I met Josh, and then also the day that I killed him. And I'm like, oh, I'm in. I was like, I am seeing this movie.
Yeah.
And
I think it was did you have a chance to watch the Slash Filmcast? The
Today.
Filmcast.
Yes.
Their review of it?
Yes, I did.
That was actually I don't know if you listened to that podcast.
no, I haven't. I know
It's actually just the Filmcast now.
Yeah. Kanada, one of the reviewers, does not watch trailers or anything. But they asked him, did that first line bother you? And he was like, no, because I genuinely forgot about it. I was having such a fun, surprising time with the movie. So by the time things transpired and maybe a main character gets killed, it felt like a surprise. It felt like the movie earned it. It wasn't this the spoiler. It was the journey.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, that's how you do it. You call your shot and then you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was still, even though I was bummed because I saw the second longer trailer that spoiled it when I went to go see Wolfman. Not only was I bummed that I was seeing Wolfman, I was bummed that I saw. Sorry, I need to stop shitting on that movie, but bummed that it gave it all away that she is an android.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, we're gonna see it for the podcast. Like, I'm still excited. Like, it's still gonna be good, but like, I already know what's gonna happen. But I was pleasantly surprised that there was still like a lot of surprises.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's all I'll say.
What do you think?
I went in blind as could be. Blind as a bat. I had no idea what this movie was about. I knew that Sophie Thatcher was in it, and I knew that I was like, oh, Jack Quaid's in it. But other than that, I did not know anything. So I went in blind, and I was a little disappointed at how quickly I sussed out what was going on. I was expecting like a big reveal, but I want to say within 15 minutes, I leaned over to Susha, and I'm like, is she AI?
That's about the time when they start laying it on thick, though.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like those breadcrumbs are kind of earned. Like around 15 minutes in, when they get to the place,
Yeah.
you're like, something's
Yeah.
off.
She walks funny.
Yeah.
The Susha noticed that from the walk from the car to the house, she's the one carrying the heavy briefcases, the suitcases. Yeah, and he's just got his little sling on.
And when she's in the car, or when they're in the car, he says like, "Wake up, Iris,"
Yeah.
and that's the command to wake up the android.
Yeah,
Not to,
yeah.
like, but they make it seem like a cute, like, oh, she fell asleep in the car, and it's like, no,
Yeah.
he's waking up the
even
bot.
that scene where they have sex, and she's
Yeah.
like, hey, this is great. Like she wants to talk.
He's like,
and
go
it's
to
just-
sleep,
go to sleep. Yeah.
and then you cut to the next morning because
Yeah.
that's how it works in her mind.
So, despite that, I don't think that is the main spoiler of the movie. I think you're fine going in knowing that she's an android, a robot, because there is a lot more to this movie than just that. This movie was such a delightful pleasure, a nice surprise for me, that it's one of those ones that I think I can go back and revisit, and it doesn't matter that I know any of the tricks or turns in the film. It's just a lot of fun.
This feels like what's that Edgar Wright rule? You write a movie and then you write it backwards.
Yeah.
So you can make sure that all the pieces of foreshadowing are all like plopped into place.
Yeah.
Yep.
This feels like a movie that I can watch again and be like, like that piece of
Yeah.
dialogue and that. Like,
It's like on oh my gosh, what's her name? Going Rogue, Tansy Garden.
Yeah, Tansy Garden.
She says like, good movie with like a good plot twist. I believe it was her that said this. Is you should be able to go back and watch it a second time and catch the little bits that you missed. And like, there's so many of that in the beginning that like, I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't see the trailer because this would be fun to watch again and be like, oh my God, that was a command that he gave her. Like, oh, wake up, Iris. Or also, did you catch that when they flash back to him getting the delivery of her, he's listening to Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls.
No,
I did notice.
I
that.
didn't catch that.
I was like, oh my God, does he name her Iris because of
That's
this?
what he's listening to?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the scene after that too, when he's like setting her up, he's like, and you're Iris.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Yeah, this was awesome. I really, really was pleasantly surprised by how good this is. A movie that makes, that has I would say a twist or a reveal, not a twist, but a reveal that really enhances a second viewing is also Blink Twice.
Yeah.
That is another one where there are little chunks of dialogue in the beginning and little looks and stuff that you're just like, I didn't quite clock the first time, but having watched the entire film and going back again, it's awesome to rewatch that movie.
Didn't we talk a little bit about this or something like this when we were talking about Trap and just M. Night Shyamalan movies in general? Like, a twist is fun, but if the whole thing hinges on just the effectiveness of the twist, it's just like empty calories. It doesn't really matter. Like, is there a strong enough movie and experience around it to like really enhance it? And I think this checks all those boxes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Highly recommend this one. I think don't watch and don't look up any more about this movie, I would say.
Yeah, if you know what the spoil is, that's fine. It's still really wonderful.
Yeah.
We're dancing around not actually spoiling how things transpire. But I mean, you know that she's a robot.
Yeah.
And you know that things go wrong.
And also Sophie Thatcher is awesome. She is so good in this movie.
Everything I've seen her in,
Yeah.
I've loved. It's,
I watching her in this going, man, she sounds a lot like Juliette Lewis. I'm like, oh, right. She plays young Juliette Lewis in Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
How did you feel about Jack Quaid, who
He's getting typecast as like
Okay.
this character.
He's getting typecast as incel.
I said that to Costa at like when we went home. I was like, I need to see him as something other than an incel,
Yeah.
because now like whenever I see him in like on TV or anything, I ball on my fist. I'm like,
He's,
and
but
then
you
I'm
know what,
like,
though? He's good and bad incel.
Yeah.
So like in The Boys, he's good earnest beta male.
yeah,
In Strange New Worlds, but yeah, Strange New Worlds and Star Trek Lower Decks, earnest beta male. But then I think that's what makes him so fucking effective to be nasty incel. This is like the opposite side of the coin of like in Scream.
in Scream.
and
That's all I was
this.
thinking of this.
He's
yeah.
good at it. Yeah.
He's very good at it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, I need to see something else.
He's
He's in something else coming out where he doesn't look like he's actually playing an incel. Novocaine.
Yeah, you know what? I guess we'll have to wait and see because his whole thing is that he feels nothing and then meets a girl and falls in love with her and has
Damn.
to. Yeah.
Maybe he still is
maybe
an
he still
incel.
is. It's just like he's the
Damn it.
he's the incel that feeds the good wolf, not the bad wolf. Yeah.
Chris is in the chat making a very good point. Unlike Abigail, which gave away the big twist, but I still enjoyed it. I think Abigail sort of fails where this succeeds because they don't milk the reveal for too long in this film.
No, it's like
I feel like in Abigail,
They milked it now.
we all know she's a vampire.
yeah, it was
and
like
they-
a half hour to 40 minutes in by the
40,
time.
yeah, at least 40 something.
Now,
yeah.
they could have advertised that movie as we're locked in the house and there's vampires or there's
yes.
a monster.
Something is killing
without
everyone.
doing
With
that.
yeah, man.
But
Yeah.
they showed it right away.
Yeah.
He also jumped in. He thinks it's stupid. The twist was so clever. They kept playing along. Yeah. Barbarian trailer didn't spoil the movie at all. It didn't, and was great.
That's how you do a trailer.
This one did, and it sucks, but it was good anyway. And you know what? If Barbarian did hint at that it's two different movies kind of stitched together, it still is great.
Yeah.
Whether you knew that or not. So like, I feel like there's a confidence in marketing where if it's, you never know, right? It's it's either putting its foot forward because it's so confident and doesn't matter that you know that, or we have to convince them to show up because we have one good weekend. This movie sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this is more the former than the latter. Yeah, it's it's a heist movie. Are you talking about Abigail's a heist movie? The heist is 5 minutes at the beginning. It's not a heist movie at all. It's a locked door mystery. They're stuck in a place.
Except the mystery isn't a mystery.
Not exactly. That's why it
It's a
doesn't
mystery
necessarily work.
to them, but not to us.
Yeah.
But I do agree that movie was fun as hell.
Oh no,
Yeah,
Abigail
no,
was
it's still
delightful.
I wish I
yeah, it
didn't
was really
see the
fun.
trailer.
Yeah.
But you know what? Too in the the end of the second act into the third act of that movie, there was some genuine surprises. You know, like are we spoiling Abigail?
Sure. Why not?
All the stuff with Giancarlo Esposito, that he was also a vampire, and all the stuff with like everyone kind of eating each other until you had super bad Dan Stevens, and then someone else shows up. Like that was all fun and surprising. It felt like the movie took forever to start.
Yeah.
And then when it did, it was rad.
Yeah.
And a lot of that hinged on the fact that they just slow rolled to something you already fucking knew the whole time.
Which again is not the filmmaker's problem or the mistake. It is the people who make the trailers.
Which are
Right? It's the marketing department.
70% or more filmmakers have absolutely no say as to how their movies are. Only like really, really big dudes in the industry are allowed to like control their own marketing or cut their own trailers. Yeah.
So I would say everyone says go see it.
Yeah.
This was
is
popping,
Go see
not slopping.
awesome. No slops.
I'm doing it. Not a single slop.
There's nothing drippy here.
Ugh.
It's just dry as a bone. Pops. Just
So anyway,
desert.
Noel says you should go see
It's
it.
like just
I talk about
Dry
bodily
eye.
fluids more on this podcast than my other one, which is really, really weird.
I feel like that's something you guys are doing wrong. And
You
what's
sh-
that
you
podcast?
sh-
Everyone's favorite new podcast, Inside the Morgue,
Yeah.
with
But
Alice
we don't
and Jess.
say the word slopping once.
Not yet.
Yeah. Is there a rating system? Like how many slops? Is there a goopy rating system?
No. Oh, I'll have to add
There's
one.
gotta be
We
something
do
goopy.
red flag, green flag, and we tally up the red flag and green flags at the end to see if the episode
Haven't you
passes.
watched your favorite
Yeah,
podcast?
you said it's everybody's
Noel?
favorite. Is it
watched
your
it.
favorite?
When the clips show up, they're my favorite. I am on your algorithm.
You love the best bits that Dylan
Yeah.
puts out there.
I mean, yeah. You know how much of this show I watch?
None.
Those. When they randomly show up, I'm like, oh.
Nice.
We're funny.
When there's
Yeah.
comments, you remind me that there's comments. You want to go reply?
You should go
Like,
engage.
okay.
Yeah.
yeah, Sam.
But yeah, Companion's wonderful. It's super wonderful, and I'm very excited about these. We got like 2 weeks worth of cool genre movies coming out. Like there's this, and then Hard Eyes. And
I don't know anything about it. Shut up.
I don't either. It's just
Okay, good.
It's a slasher with the cool.
I didn't know it was a
Hard Eyes.
slasher.
You saw a trailer.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
You saw a poster?
I saw the poster.
Yeah, it's a
With like the
dude in a creepy "I'm gonna murder you" mask with eyes. Hard
maybe
eyes.
it was
He could
maybe it's a sexy rom com.
Be misunderstood.
Right. Yeah.
misunderstood,
Yeah.
and that misunderstanding makes him murderous.
Or does
also-
it? We don't know.
Also, Love Hurts comes out.
I don't know what that is.
That's the Kiwi Kwan action
Who's that?
movie. Data.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll talk about it after the show. So yeah, Companion. Go see it.
Go see it.
Go see it. Go see it.
1000% go see
Go
it.
see it. Now, now that business is taken care of, we had our snacks. Are you guys satiated and ready?
I don't
these
like
later, but-
I don't like these.
I mean, you've got graham cracker
Covered
crumbs
in
all over it.
crumbs.
Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Do it. Eat it. We are not leaving here until you finish your bacon.
It's a shame because I love bacon.
Red dye number 3.
Yeah,
bacon.
there's nothing. I actually think this will be in my system for 10 to 12 years. I don't
God.
think the body breaks this down at all.
I'm cutting your mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still do hear it.
I don't think the body breaks.
Cut
this
your
down.
mic.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next segment of the show.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to join us in this third installment of our ongoing series, Missions Probable, wherein we dig into and review each Mission Impossible film in preparation for the 8th and maybe last film coming this summer. I don't know. Called Mission Impossible: The Last Reckoning.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Bad name.
So tonight we're going to talk about Mission: Impossible 3. There's been some arguments online as to how this is officially titled.
Arguments online.
By arguments online, I mean there's just like multiple ways that it's titled.
Oh, I see.
And the arguments are in my head as to what I want to call it.
I gotcha.
So it's Mission: Impossible numeral 3. There's Mission: Impossible dash Roman numeral 3. There's M:I: Roman numeral 3.
M:I:?
Yeah, the original poster has 2 colons.
2 colons?
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Is it?
Huh.
The English language is a bit of a bitch, and she can do whatever she
A
wants.
salty mistress.
She's a salty mistress. So we're going to talk about Mission Impossible 3. The way that we're going to run this conversation is I'm going to give you the credentials, everybody that's in it, and then whatnot. We're going to talk about the production. We're going to talk about the critical response, the box office response, the music, all that jazz. And then we're going to go around the room. And we're going to talk about how much, if and or we even liked it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Fine.
I know, right? So Mission Impossible 3 came out in 2006. That is an incorrect number I have on
I
there.
was going to say, what?
But the Rotten Tomato scores is correct, and that's 71%, which is pretty
what
solid.
What were the previous...
I have them here. I'm so excited. I wrote them down. I was so excited. I was like, this is going to come up.
Can you do this too?
Yes.
You know
This
what?
is
Wait.
Alice's excited arms.
I
Alice's
did-
angry arms.
I actually did something that I'm very excited about also. And when it comes up, I'll do the arms.
Okay.
But go on.
So the first Mission Impossible movie had 65%. Critic score, 71% audience score. Second one had 56 critic score and 42 audience score.
That tracks.
This one has 71% critic score, and then audience score is, hold on. 69%.
Oh my God.
Nice.
It's lower?
It's lower.
Holy shit. That is a delta. I
The
did not
only one
expect.
so far that has been higher audience score is the original. So far.
Kevin is already in the chat saying 3 is peak. Here for it. Look, Kevin, I'm not going to say whether I agree or disagree with you because
Until later.
this is a show about order and structure.
He loved it.
Unless I get excited.
He loved it so much.
Yeah. Anyway, Mission Impossible 3, 71% Rotten Tomato scores, directed by J.J. Abrams, his first feature directorial debut. Written by Alex Kurtzman, Roberta Orsi, and J.J. Abrams, starring Tom Cruise, Ving Rhames, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Michelle Monaghan, Lawrence Fishburne, Simon Pegg, Maggie Q, Kerry Russell, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, and Billy Crudup, as well as a bunch of others. Retired from active duty and training recruits for the Mission Impossible Mission Force, IMF for short, Agent Ethan Hunt faces the toughest foe of his career, Owen Davian. An international broker of arms and information who is as cunning as he is ruthless.
Cunnilingus.
Davian emerges to threaten Hunt and all he holds dear, including the woman Hunt loves.
Nice.
So, last we spoke, Mission Impossible 2, also known as M:I-2, came out in 2000, wildly successful. It just was. Whether that's aged well or not is another conversation. The movie made money hand over fist, and everyone loved it. So they went into production for the next Mission Impossible installment almost immediately. Development officially began in 2002, about a year and a half after the second one came out. Despite being a cringe watch now, the second movie was very successful, and everyone was eager to start. So the first filmmaker that they had attached in 2002 to this movie, any guesses? Somebody very popular in the late 90s, early 2000s, and you're like, what the fuck? Really?
Quentin Tarantino.
Close. Any idea?
No.
Dylan, any ideas? 5, 4. David Fincher.
Oh, I was going to say the other guy.
Close to saying that. God
David
damn
Fincher.
it.
Dylan, you gotta say it.
David
know.
Fincher was
I couldn't
attached
remember his
for
name.
about 2 years on this bitch.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, actually, less than 2 years. He left the project ultimately. So it was started production officially in 2002 for a hopeful 2004 release of the summer. David Fincher left the project due to creative differences and ultimately went and made Zodiac, and we're all better for it. Yeah. He dropped out in favor of that. And yeah, he was very magnanimously just was like creative differences. They wanted a different thing that I wanted to make.
Has Fincher ever made like an action movie? Like
His-
a popcorn movie?
His version of it? Yeah.
What? Which
The
one?
Killer. That was really good.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah. It really is an incredibly linear just action movie in his style.
I'm trying to remember what The Killer is. I don't
It's-
even know
it-
what
Michael
It was only on
Fassbender. It's the remake of who did the original The Killer?
Was it a I thought it was an adaptation of a comic.
I think it was a remake.
Is it a remake?
Yeah, of like
He's a Michael Fassbender is a really, really good assassin that something gets botched and they piss him off. So
And
he
that's
goes after
Fincher.
Yeah.
Shit, I got something to watch.
It was
Awesome.
it was a very
I'm in.
solid movie.
Okay, go. Sorry.
So after Fincher left, they brought on Joe Carnahan. I don't know if you guys
Love
know
that
Joe
guy.
Carnahan.
No.
Nope, no idea.
Joe Carnahan was attached to direct. He is responsible for A-Team, which is
Yeah.
it's a solid movie.
It's cute.
Smoking Aces, Narc, and The Gray with Liam Neeson.
Hold on. The Killer, you mean the
Oh, no.
remake of the John Woo
It's
Killer?
not a remake of that.
Oh.
Did you see The Killer? The original?
I didn't see the original. I thought
Oh,
that
see it.
yeah. I've heard that it's great though.
It's not. It's just the same title.
The John Woo it's really great.
So, a very gritty kind of director. Everything's a little muddy and gritty. I think they were going with that style. He developed the script for this movie for 15 months. At the time, it was set to feature Kenneth Branagh as a guy based a little bit on Timothy McVeigh. So we're thinking like a bomber scenario. Attached to star also were Carrie-Anne Moss and Scarlett Johansson as other members of the IMF team. However, after a creative dispute, Carnahan left in 2004 and his story was scrapped. Now, Cruise, being Tom Cruise, started watching a TV show, binged 2 seasons of it, and reached out to the creator. And that show was Alias.
Of course.
And he reached out to J.J. Abrams, who's never directed a movie, just a lot of television. And he was adamant. He's like, I want you to work on Mission Impossible 3 with me.
See, I think I don't like things in a chill way, and then Tom Cruise watches a show and is like, I'm gonna make this guy make a movie that I'm gonna star in.
You sometimes put your arms up.
Tom
Cruise lives with his arms
Yeah.
up. He's just like
while he's jumping on Oprah couches.
You know what? Yeah, that's true.
doesn't
He
do-
literally couldn't even like Katie Holmes in a chill way.
He does nothing chill. Yeah.
Like,
You know what? She's Katie Holmes though.
Yeah.
Neither could
Literally-
neither could
literally couldn't
Dawson,
contain
neither
himself
could
on
I was gonna say,
Oprah.
I also used to not
Not
like
like Katie
her
Holmes.
in a
Did you
chill
jump on
way.
Oprah's couch about it?
She wouldn't let me.
No.
I jumped
Yeah.
on.
You tried though.
Yeah.
The
jumped
effort
on
was
the
there.
Security
couch
got
about
me ahead
it,
of time.
jumping.
Oprah,
Yeah.
please.
Oprah security jumped on me.
But she did give me a car, so that's cool.
Oh, man.
So along with Alias writers Alex Kurtzman and Roberto Orsi, they wrote a new version of MI-3. They started from scratch. They had the time to do so because Cruise was so adamant about bringing in Abrams, and Abrams was like, I am show running 2 TV shows right now. I can't even start for another year.
What was the second one?
Lost.
Oh.
So he was working
Forgot he
on
was-
Alias and Lost, and he was like, Tom, I'd love to do this. I'm assuming this is
Tom.
the conversation.
Tommy.
Tom.
Tommy,
Bobby,
baby.
Cruisy boy.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise
Thank
is
you.
just jumping on his couch.
Thank you. Hey,
he's like, hey,
It's hard for me
Wow.
to talk to you while you're jumping. Just put the coconut cake down. We're going to talk.
coconut cake.
I won't be available for a year.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise hires him anyway.
They high
So-
five. He leaves.
Yeah, so the writers have a year to like plan production and rewrite the script and go to town. Cruise agreed to postpone production for about a year or so. Because of this delay, actors who were previously in talks had to drop out. So that's why no Kenneth Branagh, no Carrie-Anne Moss, no Johansson. Also, Ricky Gervais was attached at one point to be like a side character.
Was he supposed to be the Simon Pegg?
There was rumors that yes, but also I think they debunked that and he was going to be a different character altogether. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a tech person and just a different spin on it. Whatever. 2 other fun casting bits that occurred around this time during pre-production that were ultimately didn't work out. Billy Bob Thornton was offered the role of Owen Davian. He did not take it because he didn't want to be typecast as a villain. You see it now that it's bad because Philip Seymour Hoffman is so effective.
Yes.
But they approached and just was like,
Sure.
Billy Bob, it's yours if you want it.
Yeah.
And then also Martin Landau was offered the opportunity to reprise his role as Roland Hand from the original TV show, which would have officially linked the movie series with the television show. But he was like, nah, fam.
Yeah.
So script approved, previous obligations completed, and the cast set. It's time to start filming. Principal photography kicked off June 12th, 2005, 3 years after they originally wanted to
supposed
get
to?
started. In Rome, Italy, production would visit China, Germany, Vatican City, and multiple states in the U.S. One of the fun things I like, so like filming pretty much went out without a hitch. There was no like crazy stories and nasty things. Because this movie had so much of a leadway, they weren't like the other 2 where they were reverse engineering like action scenes to the script and like what up. It really was story first. And I think when you're watching it, you could tell that because there's actual like emotional investment and real stakes. And like it's a very, very different movie. And I think it's because they actually wrote it first.
It goes at a breakneck pace, but it's also tight as hell.
Yeah, it's a drama.
It's impressive. Yeah.
So one of the cool things that did happen was the marketing team for this movie decided one of a really, really fun way to market this movie in a kind of a guerrilla style way was they placed in 4,000 Los Angeles Times newspaper vendors, like the vendor boxes, little boxes that when you open it do the Mission Impossible thing. Dun, dun,
Bum,
dun,
bum,
dun.
bum, bum,
So like
bum,
people
bum.
would go in to get their newspaper and it would make it like it would make it sound like,
Diddle-oo.
oh, my mission. It
Oh
scared
no, my mission.
so many. It
love
scared so many people.
Yeah.
They thought it was a bomb, an actual bomb. Like
That's
they were.
my first immediate thought.
Yeah.
There were genuine like bomb threats, and they shut down like.
What a
buildings and
whimsical
stuff.
bomb.
Yeah. well, like people would just see, like they didn't hide it very well, so people would like go to get a newspaper, see there's this mysterious black box
Yeah.
that's like attached to the door of the
Yeah.
vendor, and they were
Yeah.
like
Unabomber.
911.
Literally
Yeah.
Unabomber.
Yeah,
This is also only 5 years after 9/11.
basically.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
even. Yeah. Yeah.
So you know, good intentions.
Yeah. That's a cute idea.
Really quick before we move on to
I would just immediately think someone was trying to kill me. So there was some.
right? But then also too, if I didn't see it and wasn't scared, it'd be kind of funny if you just like opened up the thing and was just like it started singing the SOS to you. The last thing I want to talk about before I move it on to Alice is the Mission Impossible theme in this movie. It was Michael Giacchino, one of his first films, also because he was mostly a television composer at the time. He was given duties to do the score. This is the first Mission Impossible movie without a soundtrack with pop songs and stuff. And they also,
Not a single limp biscuit.
No biscuits were limped. No corns were husked. Nothing. Not an audio slave in sight. Yeah.
No cranberries.
No cranberries. No cranberries were picked. Or that's actually they're sifted, right?
Yeah.
No cranberries were sifted.
Keep workshopping that. We'll get there.
We're working on it.
They also wisely didn't do anything contemporary. So like the first movie had like the other two people from U2 do like an EDM version of the theme. And then Limp Bizkit did a version of the theme. They were like, fuck off. We're just going to do like a full orchestra, heavy percussion, and just blast it. And I was like, it literally makes the movie 10 times more evergreen and timeless than the other two. Even though the first one didn't lean into it as hard, still, like you look at the sound, like you're watching the movie and like the Cranberries play when they're having a beer, you're like, oh, 1994. Cool. Cool. But yeah, that's any questions about the production. I think it was basically much smoother than the last one. So like,
yeah, sounds it.
Yeah. But everything kind of fell into place because the other two made a lot of money and Paramount was patient and willing to just like, let's make it right.
I would love to know how they got to Philip Seymour Hoffman in this movie. Because, before I had seen Philip Seymour Hoffman in this movie, I would have been like, oh, sure. Why not hire, what's his name?
Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton. Why not have Billy Bob Thornton? Of course, he's a perfect person to be a villain. I would never in a million years have been like, who would be a good villain? Philly Seymour Hoffy.
Philly.
I bet they did. Like, this is one of the, so like when you hear about stories of them approaching actors to like just offer them stuff, it's because of typecast shit and you've seen them there before. Yeah. With somebody like Philip Seymour Hoffman, very well known, tons of comedy, tons of like Broadway and plays and stuff. I bet you it was a manager and or an agent that was like, check this out, check this out, and pushed it from underneath as opposed to, let's assume. Because he was, I think before this too, he was in two Paul Thomas Anderson movies. Oh shit, this is before.
Happiness?
This
was Happiness before this?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I could look it up while she's talking. But yeah. You could look it up too. Oh my God.
We all have computers in front of us.
So much like a lot of things, this was a pretty smooth production. I mean, those that worked on it probably wouldn't think it was very smooth because making a movie is not easy.
Happiness was 98.
Yeah, so it was well before this. Yeah. So like he was around and he was like a well-known character actor, but no, I don't think people knew that he could turn it on like this.
It was
this harsh.
So good.
Yeah.
He is what I think of whenever I think of Mission Impossible 3. I immediately and only think of Philip Seymour Hoffman and the beginning of this movie, the scene, the cold open, which I won't get into. Yeah. But like, it's my favorite scene of all of the Mission Impossibles.
It's so good.
That you've seen.
No, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
So, Alice, before we get into how we felt overall about the movie and our ratings and stuff, how did the world think about this movie when it was released back in 2006?
I'll tell you. So we're going to talk about the box office, but just for reference, the budget for this movie was somewhere between 150 and 186 mil. And it opened in 4,054 theaters in the US, which was the fourth largest opening ever up until that point. And the movie topped the box office opening weekend, which was May 5th, 2006. And in the US, it made 16.6 mil on opening day and 47.7 million opening weekend, which is 10 million lower than Mission Impossible 2.
It wasn't as popular, right?
Which tracks because, Mission Impossible 2 didn't do as well as the original, so excitement. What?
No, Mission Impossible 2 did better.
Oh, sorry. I mean reviews. I'm talking about like reviews for it weren't as good. That people didn't like it as much. But Mission Impossible 2 did do better than Mission Impossible 1.
Do you think that even though there was like 6 years in time that stink of 2
That's my guess. That is
Kind
the
of
only reason I can assume it didn't do
still
as well.
smells on this one.
Yeah.
Because there was enough time for people to realize that Mission Impossible 2 really wasn't very good.
Yeah. So it earned $25 million in the second weekend it was out, while staying at number 1 in the box office, and remained in the top 10 in the box office for the first 6 weeks that it was out. The domestic run ended on July 20th, 2006, making a total of $134 million in the U.S. Yeah,
Bummer.
I know. While it was the second movie to pass the 10 million mark that year, what do you think the other one was? You're not going to guess. It's an animated movie.
Oh. 5 Goes West.
Ice Age: The Meltdown.
That's what I said.
Like 30 years before.
I know. Bambi.
So
Black Cauldron.
while it was the second movie to pass the 10 million mark opening week, 10 million mark, the film's domestic gross was still much lower than Mission Impossible 2 and remains the lowest of the series as of 2022.
That's insane.
Right?
What a bummer.
I thought so too. And outside of the US, it grossed 70 million in the first 5 days. International box office grossed 20. Oh my God, I can't read numbers. My screen is freaking out. 264.4 million for a total of 398.5 million worldwide in the box office, making it the lowest in the franchise as of 2022.
But
Yeah,
the budget of 150 million is the most expensive movie undertaken by a first-time director.
Hell yeah.
First-time film director.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me for J.J. Abrams.
So math-wise, global box office, America I have it here as 546.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
There-
Sorry, 546 was MI2.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I have
total
398.5
I'm
mil.
updating it by the numbers. 398.
0.5, yeah, million worldwide. So far, the lowest.
I'm making sure I'm keeping because I figured we have to keep stats of this shit as we
keep
keep
stats,
going.
man.
Yeah. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
It is the lowest
I haven't
grossing.
even read the critic.
Now, what's funny is that's still a lot of money, and
Yeah.
that's still
They still
that's
did
still
well.
profit hand over
Yeah.
fist. But
So,
for a
like-
Mission Impossible movie,
Yeah, comparatively, it's not as good. So, but critics, we talked about earlier, Rotten Tomatoes 71%, which is the highest critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes so far of the franchise. That is of 224 reviews, averaging a rating of 6.6 out of 10. Critic consensus saying it is a fast pace with eye-popping stunts and special effects. The latest MI installment delivers everything an action fan could ask for, a thrilling summer popcorn flick.
True.
Metacritic gives it a 66 out of 100 with 42 critics. I know, right?
it seems like it should be so much higher.
Rotten Tomato score for the audience was 69%, which I mentioned earlier.
Nice.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because
And
I get it. Slopping. Dry.
Everybody.
Even. I mean, popping. Oh fuck! I don't know.
oh man, audiences polled on CinemaScore gave it an A-, which is better than the previous 2 that it gave. So the original Mission Impossible on CinemaScore got a B+, and Mission Impossible 2 got a B, which I think is far too high.
Yeah. C-.
Yeah. So critic reviews on the TV show, Ebert and Roper.
Ooh, Roper.
Richard Roper gave the movie a thumbs up, while Roger Ebert gave it a thumbs down.
What the fuck, Roger?
Marginal thumbs down. He scored it a 2.5 out of 4 stars. He stated, "Either you want to see mindless action and computer-generated sequences executed with breakneck speed and technical precision, or you do not."
I do.
And I am getting to the point where I don't much care. So it
Oh,
just wasn't for
because-
him.
I mean, his review of part 2 was like balletic action. and,
Yeah.
like he thumbed it up
I
hard.
was
But
shocked by that.
I really do think that's time, right?
Yeah.
Like the difference between 2000 and 2006 and all the shit in between.
Yeah.
Maybe he was tired of it.
Sure, yeah.
I think, yeah.
Because this is exponentially a better movie.
It's so
yeah,
much
for
better.
sure.
Yeah.
Manola Dargis of the New York Times said that Hoffman enlivens Mission Impossible 3, but criticized the film's maudlin romance and Abrams' inability to adapt his small screen talent to a larger canvas.
Oh, nonsense.
I
Nonsense.
know. Sorry, this next one's going to
Balderdash and Knuckle Pussy.
I end with a fun one.
No. Hold on.
Wait, what did you say? I missed it.
I said Balderdash and Knuckle Pussy.
Is that the actual saying? You just
Yes.
came up with knuckle pussy. Yeah, no.
You never heard that? Your grandmother, you never used to say balderdash and knuckle pussy?
My grandma used to
yeah,
walk
now I
around
remember.
saying a lot of things, but not knuckle pussy.
I just let that slide. I wasn't even didn't even clock
Oh,
it.
you're dialed in.
So
You're just saying all sorts of nonsense that I'm not noticing.
you're learning. Shut up.
Good.
Okay. Rob Nelson of the Dallas Observer said that Abrams' movie is too oppressive, too enamored in its brutality to deliver anything like real thrills. Its deeply unpleasant tone nearly makes you long for Woo's cartoon absurdities.
No, it doesn't.
I actually, you know what? These are all. I bet you if these people watched it now in like relation to a bunch of other, like the last couple of years, this is an incredibly. Do you have much more?
I have one more review that I
Go
want
into it,
because
and
it's
then
my
we'll talk
favorite.
about like our actual.
I have a couple of
feelings. Yeah. Oh, cool.
This is my favorite review of the ones that I read through. Mark Savlov of the Austin Chronicle said, "It's all poppycock, of course, but it's
knuckle
done
pussy."
with such vim and vigor and both narrative and visual flair that you care not a jot."
Wait, whoa.
Wait,
That's literally a quote.
was this?
That's
written-
amazing.
Hang on, this was written in
In a quill pen.
1842,
I know.
placed into a time capsule.
That's why it's
and
my
brought
favorite.
forth 200 years later.
Yeah.
This man
by
time
the-
traveled for this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
he
you know what?
cared not a jot.
Did you find it
Worth it, Cat.
in a bottle in the ocean?
There's a bunch of arguments going on in the chat about what is your favorite. We will address them when we talk about our
Yep.
favorite.
Okay. That ends my segment.
So, as the production could do nothing about inquisitive crowds watching them while they were filming in Rome, they actually set up a phony second unit a little further away, hired several goyles in bikinis and several older women dressed as nuns, and pretended to be filming takes for the film while the main unit got on with the business largely undisturbed.
I want to see the Bikini and Nuns movie.
Right?
I want to know how much extra money they spend filming
Just to
a fake
Yeah.
second unit shit.
So funny.
I'm intrigued by the
After the success of
nuns. I want to
Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
Nuns
Yeah,
on
no,
the
blah, blah,
aisle.
blah, blah. After the success of Shaun of the Dead, Simon Pegg was asked whether he was going to be pursuing a career in Hollywood, to which he laughed and replied, "It's not like I'm going to be in Mission Impossible 3," which is cute.
Aw.
Tom Cruise allegedly threatened to cancel publicity for the film if Comedy Central rebroadcasted the Trapped in the Closet, aka Scientology
Read
episode
about this.
that satirizes Scientology and mocks Cruise's sexuality of South Park.
When asked in ABC's primetime about his involvement with stopping the episode rebroadcast on Comedy Central, Cruise stated, "First of all, could you ever imagine sitting down with anyone? I would never sit down with someone and question them on their beliefs. Here's the thing. I'm really not even going to dignify this. I honestly didn't really even know about it. I'm working, making my movie. I've got my family. I'm busy. I don't spend my days going, what are people saying about me? Which is an edict of the Scientology faith. They don't go online. They don't like look themselves up. It's you're supposed to stay in your little bubble so you believe all your little bullshit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
You
but
trying to tell me that the IMDb trivia section lied to me?
well, he could be lying.
Oh, that's right. He's a liar.
Yeah.
No, I would trust IMDb trivia versus.
Yeah. Well,
Tom
the
Cruise.
editorial process of IMDb
they're
trivia,
cooking it.
not even IMDb Pro. IMDb trivia
Yeah.
is probably better than directly from his mouth.
Yeah. He's a filthy liar.
Filthy liar. Anything else?
Special effects technician Stephen Scott Wheatley sued Paramount Pictures and Tom Cruise's production company for gross negligence after the pyrotechnics in a stunt in which he was involved went wrong, and he was engulfed in a ball of flame. He suffered third-degree burns over 60% of his body.
That's painful.
Tom Cruise took a pay cut of his usual $20 million fee in order to get the film financed. Maggie Q
Yeah.
had to learn how to drive for the movie. She didn't know how to before. It is revealed in the DVD extras that while driving during the shoot, the heel of her shoe got stuck on the accelerator, leading her to crash lightly into another parked car.
She had 4 lines in this movie,
Yeah.
and one of them was the worst scene in the movie.
Oh, wait. Oh.
It was basically like the only conversation she has with Jonathan Rhys Meyers' character, and it's like this really ham-fisted thing about she's praying and teach me how to pray.
Oh my!
It was the most ham-fisted.
That's right. Yeah.
You immediately just blinded out of your head. Like, hey, maybe these side characters that have been in the background of every single other scene should talk. It was weird.
And Tandeway Newton was offered the chance to reprise the role of Naya Nordhoff Hall, but turned it down to concentrate on spending time with her fams.
It's a good call for her.
Yeah. So that's just a couple little whatnots.
Would they have just inserted her into Michelle Monaghan's role?
Probably.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Because that was his OTP.
Oh, and the Scarlett Johansson role that she wasn't able to do, that was actually Kerry Russell's role.
Oh, dope.
That wound up being Kerry Russell.
Dope.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
what else we got?
I think
We got to talk about our feelings? Getting our feels about this?
Let's divert to
You cuck.
the newbie
Uh-huh.
because we had seen it before. So what we'll do is
That's you.
we will talk about
again.
our first time and then this recent time. But for you, it's all first time.
Yeah.
Alice.
How did you feel about Mission: Impossible 3 or Mission: I or M:(I:)3?
What'd you think about colon?
Yeah.
Colon.
Colons.
Mission:
Yeah. I see a lot of those.
Oh my God. Do
Are they
you?
popping or slopping?
Yeah. No, it depends. Yeah, you just grossed yourself out. I didn't even do that. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm going to admit, I watched it on Sunday, and I did have to watch it in chunks because this is my own fault. I was violently hungover, and there's a lot of jostling happening. And I was like, I'm going to...
Kosa won't just let you sit calmly and watch a movie.
Kosa's-
He's like,
He's jumping on the couch next to me.
He's super excited about you. Yeah.
he's your cheap version of 4DX.
Yeah.
Overall, I loved it. We had watched the opening after we had watched Mission Impossible
Yeah.
2, me and Sam, and it immediately sucked me in just with Philip Seymour Hoffman's performance in that scene alone. It was fantastic. He stole the show this entire time. It was so good.
Yeah, that was on
So
me.
good.
As soon as the movie was over, I was like, hey, let's just watch the first 2 minutes of this
Yeah.
one. And yeah.
Such my favorite cold open to any
It's
of the...
so
They
good.
don't even need there shouldn't be a preview. They should have just shown that scene for the marketing of this movie, period. And then coming soon.
I was talking to Sushan about it because Philip Seymour Hoffman is good in that, right? But he's also very stoic. I feel like all of the heavy lifting of that scene is actually on Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is doing some of the best acting of his career,
is, honestly,
strapped
right.
to a chair trying to convince someone to not kill his wife. I can't think of another scene in a Tom Cruise movie where I'm just like, man, he is acting the shit out of this.
It's the quiet levels of Philip Seymour Hoffman too,
Yeah.
because for 75% of that conversation, he is stoic.
Yep.
And it gives weight to when he finally yells.
Yeah.
Like, you don't think I'll do it. And it's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
And
you're going to kill her.
the desperation in Tom Cruise as he keeps counting to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
And he's slowly losing it because he's like, it's going to be fine.
That'd be fine. Yeah.
And then
goes
he's
through
like,
all
he
the
gets to
stages
like
of
5.
grief.
Yeah, he does.
yeah, literally all the stages of grief.
And
Like,
by
he
9,
starts
he's like,
bargaining,
don't-
and then he starts begging.
Don't
yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. And then
Yeah. No. Yeah. He just,
like,
they share this,
no.
this eye lock with each other, and he just knows he's going to do it. And he just, oh, it's so good.
Then blam, and then credits roll.
Yep. So good.
That is the best
Insane.
cold open.
Insane.
So you liked it.
Loved it. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to pull out? Or, well, you know what? We'll go to you first, and then we'll take apart the movie.
So I had seen it probably in the theaters when it came out in, what was the year? 2006?
Ought
Yeah.
6.
And I don't think I don't know. I'm not sure I knew who Michelle Monaghan was at the time. Now I'm just delighted whenever I see her. I
Yeah.
feel like I wish she got more work. And I was surprised. I was like, Philip Seymour Hoffman? Really? This guy? I'm not even sure I knew his name at the time. I was probably just like, this guy? They got
fucking guy from
this
Happiness who-
fucking guy?
Okay.
So, I remember enjoying it well enough, but watching it this past week, it is just a slobber knocker of a
Slopper knocker.
slobber knocker that knuckle pussies its way through every
Full of 'em
action
today.
sequence.
Knuckle pussies its way into your slopper. No dry eye or orifice in the house. Yeah.
It's just I was really taken with how fast paced this movie is. It just jumps from scene to scene to scene of just action. And also you get the heartbreak of the cold open. And then you get the heartbreak of the Kerry Russell scene. God damn it.
That is such a good review. So my wife had not seen this movie yet because she doesn't give a shit about Tom Cruise. And that's fine. No one should give a shit about Tom Cruise.
I typically don't.
It just is. It happens to be that he makes really good popcorny movies.
Yeah.
So she's half watching it with me, like the cold open, but just blah, blah, blah. We get to that scene and she starts paying. I notice her paying more attention during that whole sequence. Yeah. And then when the line happens, Ethan, thank you.
Yeah.
And it just happens.
Yeah. I can still see that face too.
I think Sam was visibly kind of like gross. Like, it was like annoyed, but the right kind of annoyed you should be in those moments, you know, like not surprised, but just like, fucking man, I knew she was going to die, but not like that.
Yeah,
like,
it's not a sexy death.
It gets you. It really, really gets you. Yeah.
And there's a morgue scene.
Oh, and how
is for the morgue?
Red flags or green flags for the morgue scene?
Red as hell.
Yeah. So they show them taking the chip out of her brain without her scalp being peeled at all. They just kind of like.
Well, that's the difference between a PG-13 and an
yeah.
flap it over.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of TV shows I watch, they just flap it over.
Yeah.
They get immediate
flap
green
it
flag
over.
for.
That's because they don't have to deal with the MMPA.
Yeah.
MPAA. Yeah.
AARP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all
Yeah. So this movie is probably my favorite of the Mission Impossibles that I've seen so far.
So me too.
It's really,
Out of
really
the three.
good. It's really solid. It's really stressful. Like even just the scene where they're trying to get information out of Philip Seymour Hoffman's character on the plane.
That's when I had to turn it off when my hangover stayed because I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, as he's
Lot of
like hanging
shaky
out of the
cam.
plane. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
lot of the shaky cam as he's hanging out of the plane. I'm like,
that scene is also like, you know, so actors, if they're lucky, they have time to like rehearse scenes before they do them.
Yeah.
They had to have rehearsed that because his just bold indignance while being captured and so confident. I was just like, what's your name?
oh,
What's your name? Who?
And then the end.
Yeah,
oh,
you have a
Ethan.
girlfriend or a
Ethan.
wife?
Yeah.
Ethan. Yeah, when he's like
Ethan.
Ethan Hunt.
It's not even the threatening. It's the just skip your shit because I know that I'm gonna be on top of this. So just tell me what your fucking name is.
Yeah.
Like, ugh. It's
And
just
and
so
after that,
slimy and wonderful.
Yeah, and after that whole big breakdown that Tom Cruise or that Ethan Hunt has, to just let him know, despite your best efforts, I have gotten the information I wanted out of you.
Yeah.
By just sitting here.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, also too, it's funny as hell. This movie is funny as hell. There's a good handful of like really, really well-timed emotional guffaws. Like when Luther's in his comms and he's going to save Kerry Russell and they're talking about like, you shouldn't get married, you shouldn't do this. And
Oh,
he's like,
right.
yeah, dude. We did it 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of like, and then all of Simon Pegg's scenes. Like there is
Oh my God, Simon
there
Pegg
is
is fun in this.
a utility to this movie where it just really does like push all the buttons. And maybe that is TV. Maybe that is like modern television where it's just very fast, very emotionally manipulative and like all the right spots. And so it works.
Yep.
I was excited about this movie when it came out. I liked the second one a lot at the time. I still kind of do, I guess. It's bad.
Fun.
It's just
fun.
Fun, yeah.
I will say that this does not, except for maybe the one, Show Me How to Pray. There's not a single cringe in this movie.
No, it's very well written. It's
Whereas
very
the
tight,
Toys.
not knuckle pussy tight, more
Yeah,
like snare drum tight.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm using that correctly.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. We'll go with it.
I have
right.
no idea.
Yeah.
I
Are we gonna get flagged for just saying that a lot? Is that a bad word?
No.
Knuckle pussy?
No. It means nonsense. Balderdash.
say it really quick.
Knuckle pussy.
Like a buzzy.
Baby did it.
Big boy did it. Big boy did it. Go watch.
I'm having a raise.
What was that? Go watch Dick Tracy and then come back for that reference. Big boy did it.
Anyway, so I was watching. I was obsessed with Alias. I was watching Alias.
'cause it was awesome.
In real time. So when I found out that the creator of Alias is going to do the new Mission Impossible movie, I was like, that seems stupid obvious. Let's do it. So seeing the trailers, and then I worked at a movie theater at the time too, so I got to see it early at a critic screening. You know, like you go there at 10 in the morning with a bunch of critics and you just sit in the back and watch it. Everyone was just dialed. There was only like 10 people in the audience, and we were all dialed in, especially after that cold open. I was like, this is fucking awesome. And the movie did not, it just kept delivering for me. So I've loved this movie from jump. This is the kind of movie that to me, it's almost perfect popcorn movie.
Yeah.
Other things get a blank check because of how good this is, right? Like other movies written by these dudes, other movies that JJ, like you get my buy-in right off the bat to try it because that was so effective. That was so fun. Yeah. And also too, like, I loved the first 20 minutes because that's the first time you got to see Ethan Hunt as a human.
As a normal dude.
Just as a normal dude. Being very dopey and cute. You know, like reading her lips and answering questions and like, am I doing all right with your family? Am I doing all right? Like that.
And Aaron Paul's in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
I wanted to be
Bitch.
like, I'm staying at your house, bitch. Also super skinny.
Oh, yeah.
He looked like a teenager. I this movie has always been, I think it's always been pretty special. It's a cool movie.
So remember earlier how I said that whenever I think of Mission Impossible movies, I generally think of Philip Seymour Hoffman, and I think of this cold open with Michelle Monaghan and her execution.
Oh, you mean Carrie Russell? Oh
No.
Oh,
Michelle
yeah.
Monaghan.
Oh yeah.
I have since watching this in 2006, have forgotten that she lives.
Yeah.
In my head this whole time, she dies in the beginning of the movie, and then we get to find out how we get to that point. Watching it this week, I was like, oh, she's alive. Of course she is. Wow, I was pretty dumb for thinking she was dead. But I was also a little disappointed because my feeling...
Because you hate her.
because I hate her so much. My feeling for the past 2 decades, however long it's been, is what a ballsy move. What a cool move for Mission Impossible to like have a love interest for Ethan Hunt and then just, I guess, fridge her. But it was also kind of baller. So watching it this time, I was a little surprised, a little disappointed maybe that she lived. I'm coming to terms with it now. The end of it is so kind of cute.
You're
and
accepting that she lives, like
Yeah,
how somebody accepts a death. You're like,
really worked for
I'm
me.
coming to terms with
It
her
really worked for me
living.
because she caught a bullet with her skull.
Yeah.
And now that I found out she didn't, I have mixed feelings.
I've been going through all the stages of grief, having to grief the fact that she's alive.
It's a perfect MacGuffin for or a misdirect for the movie. You know, like
Yeah.
you start the movie with this, and not unlike the movie we talked about before with Companion. She literally says in the first line of dialogue, "The day I met him and the day I killed him," and you kind of forget about that until it comes to the point where maybe he has to die.
Yeah.
It's just like with this, you have that brief like scene that's so fucking harrowing.
Yeah.
And then an hour and a half of movie until we finally get to that point, and you're like, fuck,
Oh, right.
that's right.
Yeah.
And when they do reveal that it was actually his interpreter who fucked up, I was like,
How did you guys? That's where I was getting. How did you feel about that reveal? Did you feel like it was a little bit disappointing, or were you like, "Oh, that's awesome"?
No, I felt the relief. I was trying to figure out, it's just like, because in the opening scene, the cold open, you hear the gunshot, but you don't see. Well, no, you see that one,
Yeah, you
but
see
then
the
when he
leg.
counts to 10, he shoots, and then
it cuts immediately to Tom
So I
Cruise's reaction, and then the
Yes.
you
The
don't
bomb.
see
So
the gun
I
go
was
ahead
trying
and-
to think of ways that she could be alive. I'm like, maybe somebody comes in the back door and shoots Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Yeah.
and that's the gunshot that we hear, and that's
we
why he
see him
reacts.
tons of time, yeah.
And
Tons
so
of time.
I was like trying to figure it out, and then we get to the scene, and I'm like, okay, now we're gonna figure it out. Like I was like, there's no way she actually died, and then she straight up shoots her in the skull, and then she's limp there, and then he pulls her head back, her eyes are still. I'm like, oh my god, she's very dead. I was like, oh my god, they did it, and then they pull off the mask, and it's not her. And I'm like,
I
holy
forgot about that. Yeah, you seeing it. So our experience is, I remember it. You forgot it. She got duped twice in a row,
I got duped twice, I'm
and that's
idiot,
kind of
everyone.
fun.
From
Yeah.
Noel.
Yeah.
Big
No,
times.
no.
Dude,
Like
no.
the movie dupes you twice in a row.
It
Like,
does. Yeah.
because they don't show you actually her getting shot in the very beginning. You're like, maybe there's a way out.
Yeah.
And you're waiting the whole movie to find out if there's a way out. Then they show her fucking limp and dead, and you're like, oh god, it didn't.
It wasn't-
No, there's a way out. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like that's kind of cool. I forgot
Okay.
about that feeling.
And then
yeah.
they fake you out with which guy in IMF
Yes.
is the inside
Yep.
guy.
That is a
that one was a cool misdirect too. Whether it was Lawrence Fishburne or
Billy
Brassel.
Crudup.
that's
Billy
Crudup.
Crudup.
Billy Crudup.
Yeah. Crudup.
It was funny when we started watching the movie. Sam was like, "He's a bad guy," and I was like, "Maybe he is." But then halfway through the movie, she's like, "Oh, so it's Lawrence Fishburne," and she knew it, and that's why. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So by the time they did the full reveal, she was like, "I knew it."
And
Like, the movie doesn't try and hide things.
Yeah.
It just keeps like misdirecting,
Yeah.
which is fun. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's not smart.
I also love the shot of the reveal when you find out that it is Billy Crudup. Because
he walks in.
Tom Cruise is just clocking Michelle Monaghan, the corpse, because he's trying to, he's parsing it
Oh, yeah,
together. He's
the
trying
thing,
to,
too. Like,
yeah.
so he's getting these headaches.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Billy Crudup sits in the foreground, but because he's looking past him, it's all just blurry.
Blurry.
And then it slowly zooms in on Billy Crudup, like, oh shit. Yeah, what a great reveal. But yeah, I'm glad she's alive, but I was also a little disappointed.
I also too forgot about that whole third act sequence. I forgot how Wile E. Coyote it is. He has to run a mile through off the rooftops of I don't know, Shanghai.
Shanghai, yeah.
And that bitch is running.
Yeah.
But then also
One shot of him just
yeah,
for super.
Yeah.
and
I mean, I feel like
Like, you
that
know
was
that's him running.
I feel like that was a running joke back in the day.
also too
Pun
that,
intended.
that first shot of him going onto the roof. There's no cutaways. He literally parkours down 3 roofs, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking hey,
Yeah.
dude, no. But also too, I love and J.J. Abrams does this a lot in all of his movies where he'll set up. It's very much an old school Star Wars trope where you have 4 main things that all have to hit at the same time in order to beat the bad guy. So he sets up this scenario of she's a mile away, you have a bomb in your brain. She doesn't know how to use a gun. You're looking for a defibrillator. The bad guy's on his way in. Work.
Yeah.
And it was just so fun to the point where by the time he ends up basically electrocuting himself and
Yeah.
breaking the twig
That was
in his mouth,
awesome. The fact that the stick snaps in his teeth.
I'm
love
like,
it.
This is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I love it.
So dumb.
Absolutely. And he's holding his head while trying to fight, so it's just all
Oh, yeah.
Fucking
Oh, I
awesome.
love that. I love.
absolutely awesome.
Yeah. Also, speaking of funny, you were talking about comedic bits earlier, when he wakes up and sees what happened to Billy Crudup, and he's like, "Did you do that?"
Yeah.
Wow. He's really impressed with Michelle
There was
Monaghan.
something wonderful about that scene too, where he's looking for a defibrillator and he's just like, "This is a Beretta, blah 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 blah." He's teaching her how
Teaching
to
her how
use
to.
a gun.
God damn it! It's so good.
This is a fun ass movie.
Yeah, man.
And she just keeps asking questions. She's like, "How do you know about a gun?" And I'm like,
yeah.
"How do you know how to use a gun?" Because she thinks he works for the Department of Transportation.
Yeah.
Looking at traffic patterns. She's
Traffic
like, "What is
patterns.
happening?"
Yeah. That even earlier, he's at the party pretending to be a normal guy who works on traffic patterns, and he's telling people about his job.
You're bored.
And the guy's like, "Oh, whatever." But then the 2 women are like, "I would.
Yeah.
I would." Yeah.
And also too, the movie doesn't forget how ridiculous it is too, because the last line of dialogue between them is he's telling her all this stuff, and he's like, "It's called the Impossible Mission 4." She's like, "What? No, it's not. That's so stupid." I'm like, this is a wonderful movie. They don't make movies like this anymore.
I also have a visual from this movie that has stuck with me for a very long time. And it's him, the whole scene on the bridge where they've taken all this time and they've captured Phillips, what's it, Davian?
Owen Davian.
Davian?
Davian.
Yeah, Owen Davian. They've captured him and he's being really rescued from, by jerks. And
Jerks.
he
Those rescue jerks.
he's the what is that thing? It's a
drone.
The drone's coming and it's shooting at the truck that he's kind of trapped in. And he gets out, he runs. And for some reason, this tiny little bit of choreography always stuck with me. The fact that the truck is directly behind him, Tom Cruise is running towards camera, and behind him it explodes, but it knocks him sideways.
Yeah.
It doesn't knock him forward like I would anticipate. It knocks him sideways into a car, and he breaks the window of the car to his left.
Yeah.
I just love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
It's
like because he's
a nice
like,
little touch.
He's zagging. So that is actually a really good sequence too. Because, like again, I think it's because they actually had time to write this movie. Like everything is actually set up. Like we are over on this side of the explosion. That's a giant gap and a fire. The gun is on that side, but I have to get back over there in order to stop that from doing that. So he has to throw the gun, jump over,
he
do
throws it
this
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just so much like wonderful and it's not super shaky cam
No, it's
or
not.
quick edits. You like they establish this is
Yeah.
his goal. This is what's going on. This is where we're
This
going.
is where
Like,
everybody
Do you
is.
want to say something about like the throwing the gun and then running and jumping? You can tell that Tom Cruise is genuinely putting everything he has in just by his face. Because he's making a goofy face, but he's doing a face that you make when you're running at your full speed. And it's just like, it's so clear he's doing all of his own stunts.
It
And
sucks
that's,
that he's in a cult because he's such a good actor.
oh my God.
Also, Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, sucks that she's in a
She's
cult.
so great. She's such a.
Oh, that's right. I thought you meant
She's like-
Tom Cruise was in Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah,
and I'm
no.
like, since when?
Well, I mean, how long has Scientology been around? Oh,
Hey,
they
what
hate
is her
women.
name?
Elizabeth
Elizabeth
Moss.
Moss, not Banks.
Yeah, Elizabeth
She's
with
so
an S.
good.
I haven't watched Handmaid's Tale.
Don't. You're fine. It
It's
pissed
so
me off.
good. I
for
love it.
90%
I've read
of it.
I've read the book. But
It pissed me off.
Show's
and-
awesome.
because it's so good. Like things are transpiring in the show, and I'm like, this is on the fucking news. I don't need to watch this. This is
Yeah.
not fun. I don't care.
Yeah.
And then it just continues to be, and then it jumps the shark hard.
No, it didn't. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Is it
Well,
a
there's-
Shark of Rome?
It's the shark. Yeah. No, it's just
She wakes up in a coliseum full of sharks.
the show. It's I think it just overstays. I got invested, and then like, oh, there's 7 more seasons, and it's
Every season's a banger. Love it.
I need to end.
I love the two very conflicting.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
like it's super good, but then it's like
The
I-
angel and devil on my
it's
shoulder.
one of those things
like-
where I genuinely like things that end, that come to a conclusion without like stretching it out too much. And I like, we're on season 8 of
Yeah.
Handmaid's Tale, and it's like she's in, then she's out, then she made it, then she didn't, then she's looking for like just
Oh, speaking of in and out, what would have pissed me off in this movie is if they pretended to kill her, didn't kill her, and then ended up killing her. I would have been mad. I would have
for you
been
guys
very
to watch
mad.
more Mission Impossible.
I
movies.
can't wait to watch more Mission Impossible movies myself.
Yeah, so
Oh God, is that gonna happen? 'Cause
we're gonna
I'm
jump
mad
back
about
into
it.
the chat if you could scroll up a little bit, Dylan. So I think Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight had mentioned that this is his second favorite Mission Impossible movie. His first being Ghost Protocol, which is part 4.
Okay.
And Kevin wholly agrees, and I am not going to say whether I agree or not. Hint: I don't.
Dick Tracy, that'll get you flagged.
Yeah, Bilbo did it. And Pink was in a crazy winter storm. I am glad you're home safe. I'm sorry that you missed the first half of the show. We talked about Companion, which was great. You should see it.
See Companion, Pink.
Random comment from Pink. I had pretty much given up on stopped watching Marvel, but the F4 trailer looked pretty good. Pulled me back in.
That is a fun trailer.
I agree. We'll get to the rest of these after our ratings, I think, because this is all just like, this is all bits and bobs. We could do that after we rate the movie. What do you
Oh
think?
man, that bridge
Yeah.
scene, says Kevin.
Okay, so for reference, I went back to the other episodes.
Sorry, did
and
you hear
I
that?
have.
Sorry. I burped into the mic.
Belgian mic.
I was an accident. It was all of these delicious snacks.
The folks at home heard it too. So
Sorry, guys.
Can we isolate that?
Yeah.
Can we?
Just make it short. That's the whole
the
short.
short,
It's just
yeah.
my burp. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm a monster. I'm sorry.
So, I went back to the other 2 episodes, and I have our ratings for reference.
Oh,
Okay,
great.
thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my
I have
God.
no
I
idea.
meant to do that earlier today and I forgot.
So, M:I. Alice, you rated it 3.5 stars. Oh, sorry, 3.5 lit fuses.
That's right.
JD,
Huh.
3.25 lit fuses. So like
Really?
3 lit fuses and then a match about to light.
The original one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Me 3.5. So
Okay.
we're in agreement there. The average rating for Mission Impossible 1, 3.42.
I think going back, I would change it to like
too late.
higher up.
This is in print now.
Okay, cool. Sorry. My bad.
M:I-2. MI2, Mission Impossible 2. I don't know if you guys know it.
Sure.
Alice 2.
Mission Impossible. Woo.
2 lit
Generous.
fuses.
Generous of me, honestly.
JD 2.25 lit fuses. And Noel, 2.84 lit fuses.
You
Oh,
dork.
wait, I gave it 2 because I did like the last 40 minutes.
Yeah, like-
that's why it got any fuses
Yeah,
at
the
all.
last, like
I-
when they just started.
I do think you said that the fuse on the second one was like flicking in and out. Though.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I did. I think I said I was lighting it with a flint lighter,
So-
like when you light a
Yeah.
Bunsen burner. I was
Yeah.
like, it's really close.
So does
yeah.
that make it like 2.15 or is that 2?
It's still 2, but it's like it's lucky it's
almost
getting
not
2.
2.
It's
Yeah, I
almost
got
not
it.
2.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. It just barely caught the flint lighter.
The average rating being 2.36 lit fuses.
Okay.
So with that in mind, M:I:3. Alice, how many lit fuses out of 5 would you rate Mission Impossible 3? Written and directed by J.J. Abrams and Colin. Do you want us to look? Don't look.
No.
Look away.
How many?
Crawl.
Most people have an angel and a devil on their shoulder. I have a
Well,
Noel and a JD.
Grab, walk over there.
You gotta like exorcist walk.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide between 4 and 4.5.
Oh, that high. All
I
right.
really liked it. Yeah. I mean, I really didn't like the second one. So seeing this one, I was like, wow.
Like,
Wow.
that's why these movies make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 4. 4 lit fuses.
Nice. 4 lit fuses.
And they're confidently lit. They're all
Burning bright,
they're
baby.
burning bright.
Those bombs are going off.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
any second now in somebody's mailbox with the Mission Impossible theme playing.
Just a cacophony of
Yeah.
of all them going off.
Yep.
JD, Jonathan
4.5.
Destructive. Oh God.
4.5. This is my favorite Mission Impossible movie. I've seen, I think, all of them except for the most recent one over the years.
You have?
I believe so.
Oh.
I believe so.
I thought you hadn't seen like 4 through 6.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't. So, but that being said,
Or 4 through 7 at this point.
this is my favorite. I love this. This one has stuck with me, and revisiting it this time, I was just flabbergasted at how tight and awesome this movie is. 4.5.
I'm gonna split the difference between the two of you because this is emotionally my favorite,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's the best
Really?
movie overall.
Are you gonna tell us?
No, when we get to it in like 3 months, 3 or 4 months.
So
So it's not the next.
Some of them are
not 4.
Some of
it's
them are
not
2 a
5.
month.
Maybe it's
my
6.
guys. Come on.
True. That's true. I should try.
So I'm gonna go 4.25. Dylan, you didn't watch it. What do you think?
Dylan.
Fantastic. One of the best movies I've never watched.
Nice.
I'm down. I believe you know what I believe you when you say that. I'm not. I'll do the math really quick. Do you want to go?
While
through
you're
the
doing
comments?
that, MI-3 was the first of the films to show the process of how the silicone masks are made.
Yeah, that was dope.
That's true. That was a cool scene.
The
3D
interior of
printing.
Ethan Hunt's house was based on J.J. Abrams' family home. The two main actresses, Michelle Monaghan and Kerry Russell, share the birth date of March 23rd, 1976.
This is an average rating between the three of us of 4.25 so far. This
How many?
is 4.25. average.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
So this is the highest rated thus far.
Also, Rachel McAdams turned down the role that went to Michelle Monaghan.
I believe that.
I love Rachel McAdams so much. All right,
looking
so
for a
in
type?
the chitty chat, let's see. Say what you want. He does have a good movie run, in my opinion.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Who's
I
he?
do love
Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
I do love Interview with the Vampire. It's one of my favorite movies.
That's a fun one. He hates that movie, doesn't he?
Does he?
I think he does.
Good. I like it more.
I think he does. Joining late tonight, but you all inspired me to binge all the Mission Impossible movies.
Hell yeah.
Take notes, Dane.
The
Take
only
notes.
thing I really liked about the M:I2 is the Hans Zimmer score.
Me too, bud.
Valid.
Go rewatch that score because JD shits, or go rewatch that episode. JD shits all over the score of that film.
Oh yeah, it's dumb.
Shits all over the
Oh,
score.
I hate it.
It's so good.
I wish I was deaf.
We can make that happen.
I don't remember. I don't even remember the
here.
score at all.
Up until now, this is the best Mission Impossible movie. This movie is wonderful.
for sure.
It's peak early 2000s action.
That's-
This is post Matrix also.
Hold on
Yes,
though.
it
Hold on.
is. Speaking of, Kos has been rewatching all the Matrix movies.
Oh, what a bummer.
I know we talked to you about it last night.
How
You're like,
do you,
"Aw."
what about Tom Cruise's hair?
Oh,
I actually
'cause-
preferred it in this one.
MI2 was gorgeous locks.
it was showy. This is like just bouncy.
Understated.
I preferred the
Just
look in this
nice
one.
and bouncy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was my peak Cruise,
Pete Cruz?
I think. I know we talked about how 2 was peak Cruise. I think this one might be peak Cruise.
2 is peak like cover model Cruz because he's much more tan. He's like flowy. This is like peak cool dad Cruz. Capable dude.
So you're saying I'm
Cruz.
into dads. Okay.
I've met your fiance. Yeah. Yeah.
He's
He's a wise-
just a dad joke.
He's,
Yeah, he
he's
is a
dad
walking
joke.
dad
Costa
joke.
is just
That's
Yeah.
true.
yeah.
I love him.
His DNA is dad joke.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your blood type? Dad joke.
Yeah. What's next week?
Next week, we are going. Next week, we have one of the most anticipated shows we will ever do on this channel
By
and have
me.
ever done on this
By Alice.
I'm
channel.
the
In
only
honor
one
of
excited.
both Valentine's Day and, more importantly, Alice's birthday, we are going to watch Hard Eyes. Oh, I mean, also we're going to watch Twilight.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to watch all the Twilights, and we're going
Not
to
next
take
week.
a deep
No.
dive into every single one of them over the next 4 or 5 months.
So next week we're going to be doing 2 reviews, one for Heart Eyes, and then one for Twilight, the original Twilight.
And maybe we should come up with some like fun Valentine's Day stuff. We'll bring
Great.
snacks or
you could have brought all these
drinks or-
snacks then. These were so good.
They were
Right?
very good.
They're
Oh my
bangers.
And I wanted to say thank you for letting me do this for my birthday because it is going to be my shortest birthday.
What?
It's my
Are you dying?
32nd birthday. Like it's dad joke.
It's
I'm
your
turning 30. It's
shortest-
shortest birthday because 30 seconds is very short. I'm turning 32.
I hate
My-
everything about today. It was such a good day.
that was for
And
Costa.
then
That was
everything
for
went
Costa.
down.
I love you.
30 seconds.
Hey, so next week we're
God
actually,
damn it.
next week we're actually just gonna sit here in silence.
Yeah, that's what you've earned. Sit in it.
I'm glad that Dylan got it right away. It's just like
I had no idea what was happening.
I stole that
30
joke from our friend Hamsi who told it to Costa on his 32nd birthday.
I'm just not used to Alice with all this knuckle pussy.
Wouldn't your 22nd birthday be even shorter than
Boom!
that?
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, now it's ruined.
Well,
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
So we'll see you next week. I mean,
I
go
skipped
Birds!
22.
Happy Valentine's Day. We'll play
Yeah.
next week.
We'll play.
Thanks for joining us.
And we'll talk
Watch
at you
Mission
later.
Impossible.
Wear your glitter next week.
Oh yeah.
I hate glitter.
Will you do my makeup?
I hate glitter so much.
I did buy
Do me
glitter.
do me some glitter makeup.
I'll bring some glitter.
Can I sit far enough? Like I
It's
fully
not-
support your
It's
glitter.
not loose
But
glitter.
I swear to Christ, it doesn't come out of anywhere. I can't stand it. I have like sensory
Dylan, I've
issues
got
with like
bacon for you.
with makeup or face paint or ink on my
Okay,
hands.
I
and
won't-
It's like
I won't. It's just like glitter eyeliner.
Are we still
that I bought.
going?
you can go to town.
He's still going.
Like
We're still
if you-
going about glitter.
If you want to roll in glitter, like if you literally want to throw it in the air and run through it, that's cool. I just might not
Dylan
hug
is
you.
like, no.
I just
Keep
might
it
not
outta
hug you.
here.
Anyway,
Bye.
Bye.
see you guys next week.